The book of Genesis tells the story of creation. It is a story about how the world began. In the beginning, there was nothing. The Bible says the earth was without form and void. This means there was no shape or life. Then God acted. He created the heavens and the earth. This was a moment of great power. God spoke and things came into being. The story of creation is important. It tells us about God's power. It tells us about the origin of everything. The creation story is told in 7 days. On the first day, God created light. He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. He separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day and the darkness night. This act of creation shows God's power. He can create something from nothing. Light is essential for life. It is a symbol of hope and goodness. On the second day, God created the sky. He called it heaven. He separated the waters above the sky from the waters below. On the third day, God gathered the waters below. This created dry land and seas. He called the dry land earth and the gathered waters seas. God then created plants. He made grass, trees, and fruit trees. The earth was filled with green. These plants would provide food and beauty. The separation of water and land is important. It shows God's order. He created a world with distinct places. Each place had a purpose. On the fourth day, God created the sun, moon, and stars. He placed them in the sky. He made them to give light to the earth. The sun would rule the day. The moon would rule the night. The creation of these celestial objects marked time. They provided a way to measure days and seasons. This order was important for life on earth. Section 5. Creatures of the sea and sky. On the fifth day, God created creatures of the sea and sky. He made fish, whales, and all sea creatures. He also made birds to fly in the sky. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." This creation brought life and movement to the waters and skies. It shows God's creativity in designing such diverse creatures. Section 6. Animals and humanity. On the sixth day, God created land animals. He made cattle, creeping things, and beasts of the earth. Finally, God created humans. He made them in his own image. He created them male and female. He called them man and woman. God gave humans dominion over all other creatures. He told them to rule over the fish, the birds, and all living things. The creation of humans was the pinnacle of God's work. He gave them a special place in creation. They were to be stewards of the earth. Section 7. A day of rest. On the seventh day, God finished his work. He rested from all his creation. He blessed the seventh day and made it holy. This day was different. It was a day for rest and worship. The seventh day is important. It shows that even God rested. It reminds us to rest and reflect on God's creation. Section 8. The Garden of Eden. God placed the first man, Adam, in a special garden. This garden was called Eden. It was a paradise. It had beautiful trees and flowing rivers. In the middle of the garden were 2 special trees. One was the tree of life. The other was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God created Eve from Adam's rib. He brought her to Adam. They were to be husband and wife. They lived together in the Garden of Eden. It represents a perfect world. It shows the close relationship between God and humanity. Section 9. A foundation for faith. The story of creation sets the stage for the rest of the Bible. It introduces us to God. He is the creator of everything. It introduces us to humanity. We are created in God's image. We have a special place in creation. The story of creation is a story of hope. It tells us that God created a good world. It is also a story of responsibility. It reminds us that we are called to care for God's creation. The book of Genesis lays the foundation for understanding God's plan for humanity. It's a story that continues to inspire and challenge us today.